Good Saturday morning to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook is valid the rest of today, Saturday, through next Friday, August the 26th. An excellent project weather day Saturday, to be followed by increasing moisture, setting the stage for a cold frontal passage that will trigger a round of showers and a few weak thunderstorms during a Sunday late afternoon into Sunday night. But this should be mainly heavy rain producing storms. Conditions to improve with dry project weather for Monday afternoon into Thursday morning. The tropics begin to rev up, but without threats to North America this period, perhaps beyond, and something we'll have to take a closer look at. And this weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Nice weather across the northeast United States with an area of higher pressure and control. This is ridging with the 500 millibar thickness lines you can see here. We have a storm system back over the Great Lakes. This is going to be pushing a frontal boundary. The area of low pressure will track to the north of us and drag a cold front through the region. Some fairly decent rains associated with that. It looks like relatively benign thunderstorms for Vermont. So not anticipating any big weather issues for utilities during Sunday night. Looking at heat indices real quickly, you can see that the main issues here are temperatures in the 90s remains down in the southern part of the U.S. near the Gulf Coast. Some of that warmth has made it out ahead of this frontal system and being scooped up and pushed to the north and east into our neck of the woods here, especially during the afternoon today and during the day tomorrow. 6-hourly model precipitation and pressure trends and thicknesses. You can see that really no issues through the rest of the day Saturday into Saturday night. On Sunday we have this approaching weather system here dragging a cold front through. Cooler air behind that, little secondary disturbance here is triggering. That'll move through on Monday after this cool front. And you can see as it moves on through, probably the greatest amount of precipitation is going to be produced over western portions of in central portions of New York, and that kind of shifts into the Montreal area. It kind of catches the northwest corner of the state, Champlain Valley in particular, and then mostly moves on through by, this would be 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and then you can see a little secondary disturbance kind of comes through, mainly western Vermont with a few sprinkles, nothing of any importance there, no thunderstorms to worry about. High pressure then builds in for better weather for later in the afternoon on Monday. A bit of a northwest breeze could gust up into the 30s miles per hour, as well as ahead of that weather system into the 30s miles per hour, especially in the Champlain Valley, with a pretty good south wind as that frontal system approaches. But we get into high pressure and some really nice weather conditions. It looks like right into Thursday morning, we have our next weather maker moving in. It looks like along about Friday to end the work week. Well, just as shown that Bermuda High is kind of scooping in most of the moisture along kind of these storm tracks here that move into the eastern Great Lakes and into northern New England, mostly into Quebec. This is 1-inch amounts here. It looks like 1.5 and then 2-inch amounts through the Adirondacks and into parts of Quebec. What about temperature? Well, we're running a little bit above normal for this time of year, about 3 degrees. And that's good for the next 5 days for maximum temperature anomalies. What about 3 days later? A little bit warmer, closer to 6 degrees, so 3 to 6 degrees. Northeast United States being some of the warmest down the eastern seaboard. And then also in the Pacific Northwest, the rest of the country kind of cooling off in between as there is a trough of low pressure here. GFS Ensemble, also using some of the data from the Canadian as well, shows the biggest precipitation maker here, and probably averaging out around 7, 8, 9 tenths of an inch of rain. There could be some localized 1.5-inch amounts with some those embedded thunderstorms that work through on Sunday night into the early morning hours on Monday. Quick look at the temperature schematic. This is on centerline on Montpelier. Pretty warm day in mid-80s. We cool off tonight in the 65-degree realm, so humid night. And then not as warm during the day tomorrow, closer to 80. Some conditions we might even be a little bit above 80 in a few spots. And then we cool off for basically Monday as cooler, drier Canadian air works on in. That sets the stage for a cool night by Monday night, Tuesday morning. And then we start to ramp back up in temperature, step ladder back up and temperatures will be hitting up toward the mid-80s by the time we get into Thursday. Next frontal system, probably along about Friday. Dew point schematic, we're in that 60 to 65 degree realm, it looks like, through Sunday evening, and then cold front moves on by, lowers those dew point temperatures. It should be mighty fresh and feel pretty good, but it's going to be kind of a coolish day on Monday with temperatures only topping out in the 60s to about the low 70s. And then those dew point temperatures make a gradual rise, but relatively comfortable weather below 60 degree dew points, looking pretty good. Looks like ahead of that next frontal system, those dew point temperatures do pull up and will be up and around the mid 60s once again, so fairly humid by the end of next week. Switching to the tropics, it looks like the western, or rather eastern portions of the Atlantic Ocean, tropical ocean, are priming for tropical cyclone formation. We do have Fiona that's going out into the central Atlantic, no threat to land. But this is valid a little bit later in the week, and it shows that there is some weaknesses here with something that's trying to make some kind of a run toward the northwest. Something we'll have to watch, and utilities should casually monitor what's going on generally east of the Lesser Antilles. And we could see something that will try to sneak up the eastern seaboard. At this point in time, the GFS model is kind of going bonkers on it, so you're probably going to hear a lot of information on it. European is barely with it, but there is some weakness in low pressure here. That's something we'll have to watch, but probably this indicates it'll go well out to sea. So currently we have Fiona that's at 11 o'clock this morning, 40 mile per hour sustained winds taking a track into the open Atlantic. This is Invest 99L and another one coming off the coast. The National Hurricane Center has really reduced this back now, but still there's something we'll have to watch here as it might take a track and then eventually come up the eastern seaboard. Something we'll have to keep a close eye on with these systems coming off the west coast of Africa. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.